The shocking truth on the Evander Kane trade has been revealed as Patrik Allvin spoke to the media, revealing the truth on why the Vancouver Canucks acquired Evander Kane heading into next season. But not only that, we get a huge update on an Abbotsford player, revealing that an NHL contract is imminent, and this looks perfect for this player's future with the organization. We're going to break down all the comments from Patrik Allvin on what feels like the most controversial trade in Vancouver Canucks history. We get quotes from Evander Kane, how he fits, and this Abbotsford player that has a big impact joining the lineup next year later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're part of the 65% watching this and you're enjoying the daily Canucks content, look no further. Canucks Digest got you covered. So go down and hit that free subscribe button. It helps us out a bunch. And in return, we'll give you daily updates from everything to do around your Vancouver Canucks. Well, let's just hop straight into the Abbotsford player first. Before we get into Evander Kane, we did see a quote coming from Thomas Drance saying they've already had preliminary conversations with the Calder Cup playoffs hero Sammy Blais on an NHL contract for next season. Now, looking at Sammy Blais, we've seen him join this Canucks team on a PTO. He signed an AHL contract, being a huge force in this AHL playoffs, finishing top 3 in scoring on one of the best lines, and in my opinion, the best line in the entire Abbotsford run. We do see Sammy Blais, who is a Stanley Cup champion with the St. Louis Blues, join this Canucks team, going down to Abbotsford. 40 points in 51 games. We've seen him go into the playoffs. 19 points in 23 games. Sammy Blais is someone that has an impact, can join this Canucks lineup, and looks like a sneaky great addition going into next season as the Canucks navigate to try to find a perfect bottom 6 with a bigger body. You could see from the intro clip, he lays huge hits. Sammy Blais is someone that can join this team, hit, score goals, and I think he's going to fill in perfectly in the bottom 6. Yes, it's a little crowded. Yes, there might be more moves on the way. But as of right now, this is a Canucks team that does have pretty much solidified their bottom 6. And we'll touch on the big name on the second line there in a moment. But looking at the Canucks, if Sammy Blais joins, maybe there is a trade in the works. Maybe they want to move him in. Maybe Jonathan Lekkerimäki starts there in the AHL. Either way, from Thomas Drance, it does seem like we're going to get Sammy Blais in a Canucks jersey. And honestly, if you watched any of the Abbotsford run, this is a big reason to be excited for this guy because I think he can make a huge impact going into next year. But what is your thoughts on Sammy Blais getting an NHL contract? Where do you think he fits within this lineup? And what was your thoughts on the whole Abbotsford run? Because it was historic. But let's hop straight into the big topic today, which everyone is talking about. And we did see, and if you missed it, I'm breaking the news for you here. Patrik Allvin announced that the Canucks have acquired Evander Kane from the Edmonton Oilers in exchange for a 4th-round pick in 2025. Now, if you're a hockey nerd like myself, this was actually a pick owned by the Ottawa Senators, just in case you want to find the standings of where it is going into Friday's draft. But we've seen this tweet come out, and it had the hockey world shook. This is how I felt looking at it. We've seen the Artie Party getting his dose of his smelling salts, and this is how everyone, the whole hockey world felt seeing Evander Kane join this Canucks team. But listen, I do want to say, and I know this is a very big topic, Allvin went out to acquire a controversial player. This is strictly speaking on stats. If I look at Evander Kane and his off-ice antics, I don't agree with anything this guy does. Do I like him as a person? No, probably not. Do I think he is a good hockey player? Yes, I think he can get into that. So I want to make it very clear, I don't like Evander Kane, but as a hockey player, he does fill a void. Looking at Kane and from Patrik Allvin, he spoke out and said Kane is a physical power forward who will add some much needed size and toughness to our group. We like the way he wins puck battles along the boards and handles himself in the dirty areas in front of the net. Evander moves well around the ice and has proven to be a productive goal scorer in the National Hockey League. And that's exactly what Kane has done. 24 goals 2 seasons ago, not playing this past season after having a surgery. He did get in for the playoffs where he put up 12 points going into the Stanley Cup Finals at the second time in 2 years. So he does have playoff experience. He has experience being a multi-time 20-goal scorer. He's someone that can consistently score you 20 goals. But the big question, and it feels like every single Canucks player has this, that's if he can stay healthy. 77 games last year, going into the playoffs, playing 20. The year before that, 41 games, 43, 56, 64. There has been lingering issues with Evander Kane when it comes to his health, and it does seem like the Canucks are taking a very low risk, high reward when it comes to this, as they're looking to add more physicality to a lineup that desperately needs it. I mean, looking through the list, there's a lot of people that dislike some of these players due to physicality. Kane can fill the void on this. Yes, his penalty minutes have been an issue year after year. He is someone that has antics on the ice as well, not shaking hands at the end of the Florida Panthers series. But I do think, as a pure standpoint, as a player, Evander Kane does fit onto this team when it comes to goal scoring, physicality. And we do get a quote from Evander Kane himself, where he said, "It's an honor to become a part of an organization and team I grew up watching as a kid." Now, the big thing is we've seen reports coming from his agent, coming from reporters from around Vancouver. Kane's destination, his choice to go, was Vancouver. He wanted to go to Vancouver. He wanted to come home from Vancouver. This is a big moment in someone that's looking to turn his career around for multiple reasons. Yes, he can join this team. Yes, there is the whole thought of this team already having a bit of a locker room problem going into last season. But Patrik Allvin made it very clear that he reached out to players, coaches, to figure out exactly what he was trading for. And apparently this trade was in the works just after the Oilers got knocked out in Game 6 against the Florida Panthers. So it seems like this has been brewing. Maybe this is why management has been so quiet on the free agency rumor front. But Evander Kane is joining this team no matter if we like it or not, and we're getting him for a full year. Now, yes, the $5 million contract, people might look at this and say, hey, that's a lot for Evander Kane. But when looking at the open market on what people expect to get, yes, Mitch Marner is a hell of a player, but $14 million for him is not in the realm of what the Canucks can do. Having about $7 million in cap space, after making this trade, you get a very good high-risk, high-reward player where he can come in, score you 20 goals, only making $5 million, but you also have the chance to burn yourself on getting Evander Kane to join this team. He doesn't produce. He's out with an injury, and then you're paying $5 million to a player. And Allvin went as far as saying he's looking at this on the long run. The past is the past. This gives us an opportunity to see if he's a long-term fit. Now, this one is a little concerning to me. A 34-year-old player that has dealt with injuries. Yes, Evander Kane in a vacuum as a player does look like the perfect top six piece or middle six piece. A hard-nosed physical player that can score you goals and almost plays a style that anyone in the league doesn't want to play against. This is what you want, but at 34 years old, locking this guy up long term. Now, listen, Allvin did not say he's going to, but it gives them an opportunity. They're the front runners. They have him. They have him here. They know how much he can perform. We've seen from the hits. We've seen from the stats. 250 hits in 23-24 while registering 24 goals and 44 points. If you get this style of play, if you get this version of Evander Kane on the ice, this is exactly what a franchise wants. This is the type of risks you have to make as the Canucks want to get back into contention. As I said, as a player, I think he's a good fit. Anything else, I don't even want to talk about. This is purely a hockey podcast. We talk about stats, but what is your guys' thoughts on this? As a player, what is your thoughts and his fit in this Canucks top six where you add a new kind of force to the team that you weren't expecting to get at this point of the year? What is your thoughts on bringing in Sammy Blais as a player? Would you like to see him fill out the bottom six or be an extra forward for the Canucks? Go ahead and leave a comment on all this down below. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. This is going to be a hectic week into weekend going into July 1st, so you're not going to want to miss any of this. So go hit that free subscribe button. But I've been your host, Mark Bai. It's about 30 degrees here, so I want to get outside, but hopefully you guys enjoy this and take care.